trouble. They know we will break the gate.
We are the new patriotic party. We are the new patriotic party. The elephant are ready to we have won to save Ghana. The elephant are ready to we have won to save Ghana. We have won to save Ghana. We have won to save Ghana. The elephant are ready to we have won to save Ghana.
Mumuni Bawumia returned to active politics in the Fourth Republic as chairman of the Council of State, a position he held when JJ was president. Thus, Mumuni Bawumia shared political space with the NDC, JJ Rawlings and Mrs. Rawlings. How do we interpret this? Supporters of Dr. Bawumia say given the senior Bawumia's huge image in the north, associated with his deep service to the CPP and the NDC, Dr. Bawumia is the best candidate to draw votes from the Nkrumahist and the NDC people who trusted his father's politics. And will there be people in the north who like Mumuni Bawumia's politics? Oh yes, there will be many. But the story doesn't end there. A very basic assessment of parliamentary figures from the northern region since 2008 will show that the MPP have moved from closing the gap on the NDC in the north to actually overtaking the NDC with the total number of seats from the three northern regions. Unbelievable, but here are the details. In election 2008, of 230 seats in parliament with 26 in the northern regions, the NDC won 21, whereas the MPP won only 4. That was the NDC winning the northern regions over the MPP by 80.7%. That was Bawumia's first time as running mate. Then in 2012, the seat had become 31 in the northern region as it is now. NDC got 20, MPP got 10, an independent candidate got 1. That was NDC winning by 64.5%. Then in 2016, when the MPP won a landslide victory, results were as follows. Out of 31 seats, NDC won 18, NPP won 13. That was NDC winning by 58.0%. Then comes the big one, 2020, and the MPP goes ahead of the NDC by gaining the lead in the three northern regions over the same 31 seats as follows. Northern region, NDC wins 9 seats, NPP wins 9 seats. Savannah region, NDC wins 4 seats, NPP win 3 seats. Northeast region, NDC win 2 seats, MPP win 4 seats. Altogether, now in the three northern regions, the New Patriotic Party is in a commanding lead. They have 16 seats and the NDC have 15 seats, coming from the NDC's lead of 80% in 2008. That means after 4 election cycles since Dr. Bawumia became vice president on the MPP ticket, he has drawn down the NDC's leadership of 80% in the north to now lead the NDC. Okay, welcome to the show, and thank you very much for your time. You are watching the Dr. Bawumia documentary. You know, a lot has been going through my mind, and I feel sympathetic towards practicing lawyers. I mean, if you're a practicing lawyer and you go to court, and your client is in the dock, he's being cross-examined, I'm guessing, and I'm sympathizing with Abdul Basit, you know, a former Odadia, Tadiosori, a very seasoned practitioner. I'm wondering what was going through their mind as in the courts, you know, everybody was getting text messages this afternoon when the process was going on about the things that their client was saying, Richard Jakpa. I mean, some of them were completely wild. And that's our second story for tonight. We'll go on it in a big way. I won't tell you what our first story is, but we'll get there very soon. If you saw our social media flyer, you might know what our first story is. But our second story is the court story, Richard Jakpa's cross-examination. And our third story is the Samuel Kujeto-led demonstrations ostensibly against the acquisition of hotels in Ghana. We'll deal with that in extenso, won't we? But let's get this anecdote from the courts. So Jakpa is in the chair. He's asked that the text messages that you sent or that you have published, how many were they? He says 14. Then it is suggested to him that overall there are 8 text messages that you advance to the learned Attorney General. He says yes. They said, okay, so at 68, why did you publish 14? He said, well, I published the one that will help my case. I'm not so sure whether in terms of the outcome that he was actually suggesting that or conceding that the other text messages were against his case. I'm not saying he said that. I don't know whether that's what it will mean. But this is what he said. He said, I published the one that is in favor of my case. And the suggestion is that you have sworn an oath to be truthful to the court. And you see, when you swear the oath to be truthful to the court, they add another line. They don't just say truthful. They say the whole truth. That is what when you are taking the oath, that's what they say. I don't know whether he had forgotten. So if you are his lawyer and you are sitting at the bar listening to him, I feel very sorry for how the lawyers must have felt this afternoon. The guy has taken an oath to speak the whole truth. The truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. He comes and says, in terms of text messages, I didn't give you the whole. I gave you some. I said, okay, why? What animated that thinking? He said, but me, I'm giving you the one that will help my case. Viewers, you have still not heard the worst. Those of you who haven't heard the story, you have still not heard the worst. Maybe the other media houses didn't publish that. Media houses are free to choose whichever angle they want to take. But this also happened in the court. And it is significant in terms of understanding how people's minds work when they get into this political-legal situations in court, where they are not able to distinguish between the political and the legal, and they seem to be mishmashing the political into the legal and creating all kinds of problems for themselves. Then the worst is what I'm going to tell you now. Then they say, okay, so there's some of the text messages left. He said, yes, there is. If the Attorney General likes, he can tender that one. Court said, no problem. Prosecution rise. My lord, we would like to tender the rest. And guess what the lawyers say? And that's why I'm sympathizing with them. I'm sure they were so unsettled and unnerved by the performance of their client. The lawyer said they object, at least one of them, Bassett, said he objects to the Attorney General tendering the other side of the text messages, which Jakpa, his client, had acknowledged does exist. Jakpa has acknowledged that there is, okay, let's do the percentage quickly, please. Mika, calculate the percentage for me. 14 of 68, what percentage is it? Calculate it quickly. So that is, if less, more divide, isn't it? 100 is equal to 68, and therefore 14. If less, more divide. So 14 over 68 times 100. Let's get it done very quickly. An overwhelming percentage of the text messages have not been produced to the courts or to the general public. And you have to do it quickly, Michael. 14 over
68.
What?
14% of 68.
No, 14 out of 68. What percentage is it? 68 is 100%.
I'm coming.
Those of you listening, if you are sharper at maths, Michael is an arts boy. Let me get it very quickly. The overwhelming percentage, okay, just do half, 50% of it is 34 or something
Times
like that.
100.
That's 50%. So
Times
just
100.
do it quickly.
20.588. 20.588.
20.5. So 14% of the text messages, which is what you submitted, constitutes 20.5% or 20.58, nearly 20.6% of the whole text messages. Here's a guy who has sworn an oath to tell the court the whole truth. He brings some evidence that he hopes will be important in the outcome, the final determination of the matter. And in submitting this, he says, I'm submitting only 20.5%. The court says, do you acknowledge that there is more? He said, oh yeah, there's a lot more. Why didn't you submit all that? It is not in favor of my case. I submitted what's in favor of my case. A person who is going to assist the court to come to the truth, the whole truth, says these things. You are his lawyer, viewers. You are his lawyer. How are you going to deal with this? How are you going to deal with this if you are Jakpa's lawyer? How? You are listening to him and you see what he's saying. Then the Attorney General rises and says, okay, no problem. We will tender the rest. And then his lawyers come out and say, we will not allow you to tender it. The reason they gave is an interesting reason. And when we get to the story, I will tell you. Now, though, good evening. Welcome to the evening talk show. It's called Good Evening Ghana. Let's do it onto the touch screen now. Good evening, Your Lordship Justice Kulendi, Mr. Jakpa, and the learned Attorney General Godfrey Dame. There are second story, we'll get there. Beyond that, Mr. Jakpa answered questions about his military career. We'll get there later on, but let me just give you a hint so you don't go away. He answered questions about his military career. He did. And then he says something about Justice Kulendi, which sounds, because the matter is still before the courts, let me use the word interesting. Sounds very, very interesting. Almost unbelievable. But he said it. I mean, everybody in the court was shocked. We'll get there. All right, let's move to our first story. Viewers, if you've been watching the political space for the elections, you know that the National Democratic... Sami, how are you? Sami Okuyeto will be coming to you tonight because you led the demonstration and we have a lot to say about it. We have someone in the studio, my friend from Adenta. It's called Adenta Kumi. He's in the studio. We'll be talking about that. We have the information. So, Sami Johnson. Oh, that's a beautiful acronym. Don't you see? Sami Johnson. Do you know why I put them there? This is our first. It's a very short story. And then we take a break and then we come to court. Someone looking at our black one here has made an attempt, a very bizarre one, to define 24-hour economy. He has. It's a totally bizarre one. He's made an attempt to do so. Samuel Gyamfi has demonstrated the highest dereliction of duty of any national propaganda secretary of a party. Johnson Asedu Ketia, the chairman of the NDC, has also attempted a definition of a 24-hour economy, which is a policy statement made by President John Dramani Mahama. Now I come to Samuel Gyamfi. The reason why Samuel Gyamfi, who is the National Propaganda Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, the reason why I'm tackling him tonight for dereliction of duty is this. You are Samuel Gyamfi. You are the National Propaganda Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. Your presidential candidate, a former president, issues a policy statement. I will deliver a 24-hour economy. Once he says that, it behoves you, Samuel Gyamfi, the National Propaganda Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. It behoves you to now detail it in a document, like the Americans would say, a document. You have to isolate it in a document and tell your communicators, 24-hour economy, background, concepts, implementation, demerits, merits, then you draw a line on the page. Next page, questions to anticipate from our opponents, This is how you answer the question, You give them a brief. Samuel Gyamfi, the National Propaganda Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, this is your work. You give them a brief. Now, it is obvious that there's no such brief that accompanies the policy declaration by President Mahama. And that is where the problem is. On whose head do you put the problem, Samuel Gyamfi? Why is he not able to do that? It's not that he's not an intelligent man. He's an intelligent man. But he is chasing tapes and following after Jakpa. That is the reason why he's not able to do his work. And while he's not able to do his work, he goes around denying that people who are fluffing out, completely fluffing out the policy statement of President Mahama are not either members of the NDC or they are not members of the communication. Viewers, let me cut a long story short. One guy appeared on television. Nice guy, doctor something. I'll show you the video in a minute. And he was asked, what is 24-hour economy? Charlie, the thing the guy said is the most bizarre of all of them. But it's not as bad as Samia Ablakwe's own, which I will go to soon. So without much ado, let's see that video. The one that created the trouble for the guy, and the one that shows that Samuel Gyamfi has been derelict in his duty as the National Propaganda Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. Have a look at the video.
The 24-hour economy, mama and papa, mom, chitifie, mom, yen, and moi. John Dramani Mahama said what the modern farming techniques and the deba. Under animal farming. I will call a bit said Pudon, our channel. Wokoha. Animal farming, wouldn't say Jatani Mwaka see elephant near the gum egu farm numbi. And you wouldn't mean Cosset or Cocodo, and I said, oh, caught no could be any. It would decay set up plantation in the BBA, we are no jam one agum. Not jam one guma, who pay here almost swap. What would the plain ever Fabium, no mas as ever and one in any other. Not proud to that, no. What training expert for our muso ebeshe choir a friend say omo ebeshe one so bobi area a bit my one pani any other. Nasan yoma way in an air baswa a bebwama or more a Greek ewa care KUST Legon woman in a benye jumaye.
With all that we are saying, I'm quite confused.
Okay.
I'm confused. I'm confused and I say animal really no say yeah animal farming no sa jatani winning no ebe benefits. Yeah,
yes, reason is ebe my tourist attraction.
Okay, good.
Because ukopudon.
Now more of tourism than say yeah re animal na
my. To that no so no emwana kasa no ubetimi a export to be.
Okay.
Who export no na sika no dey enioma na ekọ no.
Okay.
Na unya dollars. Dollars ne ba na bebe usika sama dey ejina.
Okay.
Proud to that, no. They will make it a exportation, no. Movement, however, no, you say, would the new money be corner? Not the corner, would the corner, who be your dollars number. Dollars bar, because country be na. What can your man more than the export to be ano? Country na what near the ever form. And na Dr. Bawumia buyer went to Mania, Wama Hochaba. It's your mom we extension officers near the Ninano. Won't be near Jumaye. One mom we a for masonry for no. I bet to war, a fancy land in Nina. Almost be near Jumaye. Proud to that. Dr. Bawumia, a buyer or castle, obey one district, one factory, went to me. And here are John Dramani Mahama say, under one district, one factory, no. One no dear, or bad the bed embark on agro.
I say, die, yo, nyame, nedia. Viewers, have you heard it? Hey, Charlie, politics can destroy nice people. Oh, look at this nice man. He has a PhD. He really does. He's worked hard for a PhD. I mean, you heard him. That is his understanding. 24-hour economy. We are going to rear lions, tigers. We will spray the nutrition onto them. 24-hour economy. So all hell broke loose because everyone thought that this was very bizarre and it became a laughing stock. All hell broke loose. Okay, so whilst all hell broke loose, Samuel Gyamfi, the National Propaganda Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, then put out a press statement 13 June entitled Kesbin TV Video in Circulation. Dr. William Atawusu, not a member of the NDC communication team. Because of the embarrassment, Samuel Gyamfi was looking for a way out because it is his responsibility to organize a document that defines the 24-hour economy, the background with the research, demerits, merits, implementation plan, how it will affect the GDP, how it will affect business, the cumulative effect, the aggregate effect. All of that is a communication responsibility that should be undertaken by Samuel Gyamfi, the National Propaganda Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. He didn't do his work. Then he quickly pens a document on social media. He's fighting with Kesbin TV for even fielding the guy on their show because according to him, the guy is not a member of the National Democratic Congress's communication team. He's not a member of the army that he leads. But why should he be a member? When Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo declared one district, one factory, every MPP member could borrow from the leaf of the communication and talk about it. You don't need to be a member of the communication team. Every MPP member who finds himself on radio or television, member of parliament, whatever, understood how to articulate one district, one factory. What Akufo-Addo said, one district, one factory was the same thing Dr. Bawumia said, the same thing Samia Oku said, the same thing everybody said, the same thing Esla Usu said, same. Why? Because the National Communication Directorate must have put together a brief that this is the presidential candidate's vision of one district, one factory. Even if John Mahama has not put together a brief, it is Samuel Gyamfi's work to put the brief together and share among his people. Now, he doesn't do his work. He's derelict in his duty, and this is what he produces. 13 June 2024, Kesbin video. Let's see what he says. It says, my attention has been drawn to a video in circulation in which one Dr. William Atawusu is seen on Kesbin FM offering a bizarre explanation of the transformational 24-hour economic policy of the NDC. For the records, Dr. William Atta is neither a parliamentary candidate nor a member of the NDC's regional communications team that I lead. The views expressed by him on 24-hour economy policy don't in any way represent the position of the party. We urge all producers of various political talk shows in Ashanti region to stick to the approved list of communicators sanctioned by the party in inviting representatives of the NDC to their program. Again, another faux pas. In doing so, I'll come to that. I need that slide back. Wait a minute. In doing so, what he did, Samuel Gyamfi should have. You see what we do in communication. Anybody who's done communication before, when you finish, then you write background, something, things to know. He could even have done FAQs. FAQs means frequently asked questions. These are all tools of communication that every communication person understands. So in putting this out, he could have followed with FAQs. Frequently asked questions. You can say, for the avoidance of doubt, readers, for the avoidance of doubt, this is the 24-hour economy. FAQs, frequently asked questions. What is 24-hour economy? 24-hour economy is a policy by John Mahama. When will 24-hour economy take place? 24-hour economy will take place when How will 24-hour economy help the youth? 24-hour economy, FAQs. I don't know whether he doesn't know all that. I think he does. Otherwise, he will not be propaganda secretary of the National Democratic Congress. So he didn't even take the opportunity of this publication to offer the explanation of the 24-hour economy. He didn't. All he said is that the man that you are all laughing at, he is not my man. Forget about him. I don't know him. Kesbin people found him themselves. He is not a member of my team. Don't associate him to us. The views he expressed about tiger and lion are his own tigers and his own lions. He should deal with them. Okay, so get me the NDC sacks, the other slide. NDC sacks communication member for saying 24-hour economy will rear lions. That's on 15 June. The guy is fired. Dr. Atawusu, I feel sorry for you. Now, this is the catch. This 24-hour economy, who has been able to say what it is? What do I have here? Kesbin's response is this. Kesbin people, the Kesbin radio people, they responded. They said, evidence. Kesbin media, can I open it? Yeah, great. Kesbin media can authoritatively report that Dr. William Atawusu was introduced by Abbas Nuruddin to our producers as an addition to Ashanti Regional NDC communication team. And as a member, he can be featured on political shows on Kesbin. Okay, so this is the text message they produce. Here, somebody is sending to the Kesbin people, I believe it's Nuruddin, Abbas Nuruddin, is sending to the Kesbin people the number of Dr. William Atawusu. Then he is writing to PSA. So, yes, Abbas NDC, you can see at the top of the WhatsApp message. This WhatsApp message is becoming a matter because in Richard Jacquet's case, he gives you only 21%. Then he will keep the rest, 80% for himself. So, Abbas NDC is the way in which PSA of Kesbin has saved the name. So, this is the conversation they have. I think the September 2023 goes off, okay. 30th September 2023, he sends a phone number. He says, "Hi PSA, this is Dr. William Atawusu, our latest addition to the Ashanti Regional Communications team. Please be featuring him on your political programs." PSA replies and says, thank you, sir. Very grateful. Sami Jemfi. Have you seen this message? Sami Jemfi, you are an important political officer of an important political party. You make a bold statement without even consulting Abbas Nuruddin. That in fact, if you are spoken to Abbas Nuruddin, to ask Abbas Nuruddin that, na Abbas, William Atawusu na okogu yenima se wo Kesben unim no. He would have said, oh yeah, boss, yes, I know him. You know, he's one of us. But the way he spoke there wasn't good. But why should Atawusu go on a show without a document in his hand on what is the meaning of the only policy that the flag bearer has announced 6 months to the election? This is the only policy that the flag bearer has announced. This is a flag bearer who is reeling under the pressure that he should name one thing he did when he was president. He should name one policy success when he was president. He should just name one when he was vice president. Name one since 2016. The candidate comes and says, okay, take it. 24-hour economy, I've named one. This is a futuristic policy. Up until now, 6 months to the elections, Sami Jemfi has not developed a template to cover what the presidential candidate said. NDC people, are you listening? Your national communication director, the propaganda secretary, he has not up till now. And if I were the flag bearer, I'll be upset with him. The flag bearer should be upset with him. But I'm sure he's not. I don't know anyway. But if I'm flag bearer, I will be very angry with the guy. I have spoken about a policy. You have not even fine-tuned it. You have not put it together. You have not done that. What is wrong with you? What is happening? Etc., etc. Now he goes out and in his embarrassment and panic, he puts out a statement and says, oh, the guy is not with us. Kesman TV say, hold on, sir. Take your time. Data doesn't lie. Take your time. Social media doesn't forget. This is the record. Your man, Abbas Nuruddin, who leads Ashanti region, wrote to Kesman and said that William Atawusu, he is one of us. So please feature him. So this is the problem. This is the problem. Now, thank you. Let's come to the other explanations of 24-hour economy. And ask Sami Jemfi that why was he unable to comment on those? Listen to Ablakwa and the way he struggled to even talk about what it means. Have a look.
Someone would argue that it's ill-defined and it's difficult to convince us that is the wholesome solution to the problems of our country right now.
What's ill-defined about it? I mean, the 24-hour economy is a 24-hour economy. We want to move.
Well, we are not learning more about how to operationalize. What we've got from the NDC.
You clearly have not been listening to us, and you've not been. You want me to send you there? We have a whole blueprint.
I have seen the packet.
Yes.
But it's only a simplified version of what will actually be applied. We are yet to understand how this will be operationalized, so that the Ghanaian people can reap from it. The NDC is taking too long in giving us that, but it's been propagating 24-hour economy. A buzz which some would say is trailing off.
Oh yeah, certainly. It's caught on, and the TUC has described this as a game changer. That's what this country has been waiting for. It's an idea whose time has come. Look, we have put out the blueprint. We have said that the flag bearer is just teasing out portions of our manifesto. Very soon, in a few months, we're going to launch the manifesto. And that's where, if you want the full program to go into the details, the bolts and nuts, you're going to have it. But there's nothing mysterious. It's not rocket science. We are not saying we are going to space. I mean, we're just talking about a 24-hour economy which has worked in other jurisdictions and can work here.
Is that all? It's just a 24-hour economy for the NDC going into the 2024 election. It's a very simple concept. I earlier talked about how we're going to deal with corruption. The flag bearer has said that you have a no-nonsense approach. He has said that he will start from home. Charity begins at home, and that even his own appointees will not be spared. He's talked about constitutional reforms. And under constitutional reforms, he's talked about a whole swath of governance, governance reforms, which include, cancelling the ex gratia, for example, reducing the number of ministers. He has said that he can work with no more than 60 ministers, where we are now 87 and the likes.
and it's going to be more because we thought that there's been a reshuffle. We thought they would take advantage of this reshuffle to reduce the number of ministers, but that's not what has happened. People are being removed from sector ministers. They are being sent to the presidency. They are still going to be drawing from public funds. And then at the lands ministry, I'm told the deputy minister who was removed has just been appointed a special advisor to the minister. So virtually nobody is going home. Everybody is being asked to hang on to continue to draw scarce taxpayer funds. So we are saying that we are not going to have this obese government.
On the bread and butter issues is the 24-hour economy.
The 24-hour economy.
Very well.
The 24-hour economy. We're talking about infrastructure. He said that look, we must continue with our program to have every regional capital having an airport. He's talked about the need to have in agriculture to have farm banks.
So I keep asking
cooperatives. So we have not put out our comprehensive.
Please, what did he say? Viewers, what did he say? What did the star boy Ablakwa, even him, he kept referring to some brochure. We have a brochure, and when the manifesto comes out, we are going to explain it. And Akufo-Addo said one district, one factory. He wait for manifesto. He just said, this is what it means. That every district within this will have a factory. The factory will be determined by the thing that the district produces. So if you're a district and we see there's natural palm oil, so the districts and the factories were supposed to come out of the natural circumstance of the district. So if you're a district and you have mangoes naturally, we'll put a mango factory. If you're a district and you have orange naturally, we'll put an orange factory. If you're a district and you naturally have horticulture, we'll put a horticulture factory. In the second phase of it, we'll see how we can blend those things. GMO is there. We can blend somebody's orange with somebody's mango to do mango orange juice. And there came a coffee juice in the central region. Because the central region demonstrated that they could grow pineapple. So a coffee came and it's there now. They're exporting. That's very simple and straightforward. What is the policy has been said by in some documents when the manifesto, the flag bearer is teasing it out. TUC like it. It's about getting airports everywhere. Let's not go far. The chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, this is his understanding of 24-hour economy.
24-hour economy, no. The ayabaya say, abai ebecha electricity boa, ewo from kura, ediama enyuma yafua. Mobeba juma anajo no mabeya juma enti mo amoye fundraise mo amoye welders mo amokrakra eka sene ne amanema mo hia electricity pa no mo penufo na mo juma emfaso abamu a mo be sign na mo ba juma anajo use electricity a na ne boa ede akofom wo mo iron rods ene aye amu use Anyama wode kese no mo be ye mo adwuma anajo a wo be hu se anyama wode bo obekọ fam pa aboa mo ama mo anya mfaso na maburu no so wo mo anya adwuma aye enti abana nteni a kyerɛkyerɛ 24-hour economy num na muji tumu a eno eye game changer ewo oman Ghana.
Johnson Asiedu Nketia. You heard him. He said the 24-hour economy means that electricity will be cheaper in the evening. So if you are somebody who uses electricity like you are a fitter or a welder or that kind of thing, you can stop working in the afternoon and work in the evening because electricity will be cheaper in the evening. Electricity will be cheaper in the evening when ECG, from the time we were children, Gridco, they've told us that peak time is evening. That is the peak time. So that is when, if there's doomsday or anything, it happens more in the evening. Because it's peak time, everybody's light is on because people are at home. In the afternoon, some people go all the way to work at the ministries. If you're in Accra, they go to Kumasi in the center. If you're in Kumasi or Takrade or Tamale, that kind of thing. But Asiedu Nketia says that it is in that evening, which is peak time, that is when the ECG will make the electricity cheaper. So that if you're a welder, you need not work in the morning. You just have to go and work in the evening. That is his understanding of 24-hour economy. There's no blueprint. The last one I'll show you is this guy who is not a top brass of the party, but he showed up in a studio and he also has something to say. 24-hour economy. This is what he said.
Also, about the 40-day hour
24 hours economy.
Now, how do you know all tiers here?
24-hour economy. No. Very, very simple. This is about 10. Ecoboten. Abona Ecoboten. Yapon another president another program it was wa. It's another 24 hours na yakọ anim. Arambwa. Yapon mo show na. Still on edda ho. Arambwa. Who put my serious? That's from 10 to 11.
Yeah, go off.
Monpon, but another political program and Cosubium. Another Anambwa.
The government for 24-hour economy.
That's how that's your host here.
That's how politics.
Yes, not so was near to us. On this point apart, not a moment do an Amusaba. Nay, when still an umpong, or be free as a nice managed to us. Monpon, but a program is a program upon Anambwa. Program upon Yapon, is here before now more train. Now I can see that time be because once we could book them to buy. We could book full book them to buy. The also it was a make us and the contents in set time and Dawson. In the Gapono, 24 hours upon the Naga Saturday was here. So 1 hour, another 2 hours are not yet Yatwasu, and there's 12, 2 and a point, Yaponi coffee.
Namoso Pana for Fraba.
Never Fraba.
The politics throughout.
Never say another before peace FM some year this way. We have blah blah blah. So we wasting now. Na almost bon do. Na say one na ekosu. And never my economy yet day. Yet me boss you kon yet yan in 10 because baby I think dey here. Of an wash. Who said dollar circus review?
And a 24 hours.
So who said dollar circus review? So
me.
Ya kwaje 3 billion every I buy. Dollar yes stable.
Me ma
So when you close Good Evening Ghana, then when I close, then Apriku and the team will come. They continue Good Evening Ghana till 2 a.m. When they close, another group can. They will do Good Evening Ghana 24 hours, 24-hour economy. Whose fault is it? Samuel Jemfi, the National Propaganda Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. He's been unable or he's failed to develop a simple blueprint that his communicators can work with. That's what has happened. It is on his shoulders. This is the problem. All political parties must have communications people who are up to the task so that Ghanaians can have something to choose from, so that we have good, and then we choose one. We don't want a politics. That's what I've been crying about. Yeah, I like Dr. Bawumia, no doubt about it. But what I've been crying about, having covered so many elections, is that let's have one election one day where this is good, that is good. All parties are solid. That is what Ghanaians deserve. That is what Ghanaians deserve. But if people are doing this kind of politics, where instead of focusing on his work and delivering something that is of high standard for Ghanaians to make a choice about, he is chasing jackpot tapes. That's what will happen. He's not sitting down in his office and dreaming the strategy that will help Ghanaians, not NDC people only, Ghanaians to be able to assess it and make a determination, to interrogate it. He's not doing that. So his people don't know what 24 economy is. This one says that, this one says that, this one says that. Because he hasn't, then he has the effrontery to be sacking people from the party. Okay, we don't have too much time. I've gone 4 minutes over this story. It's time for us to get to court. Before then, though, let's go to the text message. What people are saying about this one. Sarah, what are they saying?
Okay, so thanks, Paul. This is what people are saying. From Ishan, he says, the montage has too much education induced into it. History is everything to our development. Great peace, Paul Adomosri and the Good Evening Ghana crew. Also coming from Ali Duyao, he says, the silence of Sami Jemfi after court day should tell you something, Paul. Also coming from Akwesi Apia, he says, rearing of Jata and exporting them. This is an explanation for the 24-hour economy. And lastly, also coming from Breman Cheiba, he says, Dutch passports over, put on. What do you have for us, Angela?
Judah Akbar, watching us from Tamale, says, now the 24-hour economy has become a lion to catch the NDC from the top to the bottom. This is just the beginning. 7 December will be more than that. He says, NDC, never again. Okay, moving on. Kamal Amasan Brody says, Paul, there's a difference between street propaganda and adducing facts in court. Jackpot under cross-examination is beginning to exhibit some dishonesty, and I know that Godfrey Dami's image shall be unblemished by the time the cross-examination is done and the NDC's character assassination of the Attorney General shall be exposed. This according to Kamal Amasaman. Bernie, moving on. Mark, watching us from the USA, says, good evening, Paul. Honorable Ablakwa said something. that the TUC says it's a game changer and they will build airports in all the regional capitals. That's his 24-hour economy for Honorable Ablakwa. Ghana bread. This is what Mark says. Citizen Francis says the NDC has once again exposed its blatant bias against the Ashanti region. Dr. William Atawusu, a party member from the region, was swiftly disowned and censored from his explanation of the 24-hour economy concept. Meanwhile, his non-Ashanti colleagues who made equally bizarre statements were given a free pass. This double standard reeks of discrimination and hypocrisy. The NDC's selective outrage is a clear indignation of its anti-Ashanti agenda. Oh, that's a strong statement to make. He continues, it's a shame that the party would stoop so low as to silence one of its own members simply because of his ethnicity. Inyas Idrisa says, Imani Africa President Franklin Kudjo has since lost his phone keyboard to comment on the case today. And lastly, Emmanuel Koni Bensa says, I've been frequenting Sami Jamfi's timeline to see his updates on the AG's cross-examination of Richard Jakpa, but he's yet to write anything strange. Okay, lastly, Pakwesi Inachiki says, I think everybody should get Kojo Yankson of Joy FM on Pan-African TV, and you'll appreciate the level of intelligence of that man. His opinion of the NDC and Jakpa tape is splendid and worthy of emulation by some Ghanaian journalists. Paul, back to you.
Okay. My phone is buzzing with it. Let me see this one. Sorry, viewers. Sorry about that. My phone is buzzing with the messages. Okay, I'm confused because some are very, very funny. And there's one NDC guy who sent me one. Some of the people are not happy with you. One key NDC guy sent it to me and said, say Sami Jenfi again. He's always gallivanting something. I won't read it. It's an internal matter for them. So maybe I'll send it to you. I'll just block out the name of the person who sent it. I'll just send it to you so that you can advance. Because I'm hoping and wishing that you will succeed as the National Propaganda Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. Viewers, it's time now to go to court, isn't it? What's the time? It's 10 minutes past the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. We go to court in the night. When everybody goes to court in the afternoon, we go to court in the night. Before then, though, I'm being heavily beckoned to take a short break. As they say, that's what pays the bills. So let me take the break. I come back and we are straight in the court of Her Ladyship, Efia Sewa. Jakpa in the witness box. DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, prosecuting Justice Kulendi, minding his business in his office at the Supreme Court. And Attorney General Godfrey Adame sitting at the bar, together with Tadio Sori, Bassett Bamba, and all the other lawyers, seated in a packed hall of Justice Efia Sewa Court. Beginning to do today at about 10 minutes past 12 o'clock at midday, we will replay what happened in Efia Sewa's court after the break. This is Good Evening Ghana, is still live.
Hey, please don't make mistake. Talk to Papa. Open the come on. And you trouble polytank no girl. You there. Hey, Papa.
Papa, can ruffle.
The polytank is original, the first and the best.
What is? Who got also for dear acrobat to use me?
Polytank, yes.
So what about what your papa did not?
This is my secret. Give us P capsules. Emma, I want to confirm. No one to me put to my ding one pen. Give us P capsules. Over do us, Mama. Oh no, enemy lawyer.
And to lawyer no na show bottom. Are you broke? Are you broke? Then I found upon machine about Siamoa as a new. What's no. Ni de nefi waka wo. The friend give us coal capsules. Say yes is yare na wo so. Ko di di wo ni pedwem wani na wo posa amaman entini ma wunja wo nan yi. Wonum give us coal capsules a. Obeye free.
Lawyer.
Give us coal capsules.
And I give us pea capsules.
Hey, and I give us free.
Chinasuma.
Remember what if you do what you do, Cronkwan, Efra. Give us core capsules. A pain for a batter, one more menu for one and Quadawan if you do me no come.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot. You always get way more with Betway.
This address has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Ghana for Mama Dada yo. Me the dead number. Dead spices I would running in every jasso. And you never know yeah.
If we come your job away, no use dead spices. We don't go job. If I don't feel
Paste the inside. Yeah, the natural spices, Papa na yeah.
Noodles everywhere you go, dead spices.
Just the
one. No more dead spices. Aji baby,
Black. Tasting a chicken.
Kaji, go. But dead spices, yeah, what Jenny say. Nanya good taste. If we say, yeah, the natural spices, and I, yeah, you're gonna hey, yo. Annie, you want all purpose, stew, noodles, curry, and nutmeg, and a jollof. Dead spices, taste yummy, taste lemon. Dead spices, taste day inside. FDIG, a jet in Kratoya too.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
Matias.
It's her smile, the fresh breath.
Me, Giddy said we use to Cal 360 toothpaste. Semikai. Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's here. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector. Onim jom kasa. Kile hosing. Cal 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
And you will so feeling to when you know Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved. 3149 or visit our website on www.rehobothsocialhousing.com. Rehoboth, your housing dream becomes a reality. Hello. How's the time? Okay. Oh, Charlie, we're running. Time is running. Let's get it done. Meanwhile, before we get to her, I find it difficult to call the ladies leadership. I think it's the lordship. You see, the lordship is a role. It's not a gender. It's a role. My Lord, God is both feminine and masculine. You know, the Gans say ata na nyumo, which is na is woman and ata na nyumo. Ata is the man, na is the woman. Ata na nyumo. God is universal. He's not this and that. So if you're trying to represent somebody in that context, they are all lordship. I think the use of leadership is trying to feminize the judge's role and it's sort of reducing the effect and the authority on her lordship. That is a fair service course. We're going to go there. Before we do that, though, Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia has been on the campaign trail. Let's take 5 minutes to see what he's been doing. Here is Peter Chrissy Sapon. Fantastic man. I mean, there are not many better clergy and clergy who have a great sense of patriotism than Bishop Peter Christy Sapon. And I believe that is him, though. I'm sorry if it's not him, but I believe it's him. This is Dr. Bawumia, who is paying homage to some of these important traditional leaders. That was the Anglican priest, and this is Dr. Bawumia with the... is it Asante Hini I'm seeing? No, okay, with another chief on his tour in the Ashanti region. Everyone is in cloth. Let's get back to the chieftaincy picture. I'll go through very soon. Now, viewers, let's look at this critically. Look at the smile on all the faces. 1, 2. This man is not smiling as much, but you know he's showing contentment. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at the guy at the end. 8. This guy is not smiling because he's doing his way. Look at this one. Look at this one. And look at the demeanor of Dr. Bawumia. I mean, you got to love this guy. You got to love Dr. Bawumia. You got to love him. Look at the demeanor. The very distinguished banker, the guy who recently was the key principal advisor for the African Development Bank to the country of Zimbabwe. The guy who's been what they call the most effective vice president, said by Dr. Sika Anko, who just published a book, said by Father Campbell of the Catholic Church, that he's been the most effective vice president in the Fourth Republic. Nobody can take that away from Dr. Bawumia. He completely changed campaigning in Ghana onto policy issues, onto delivering speeches, onto reading something to the audience and telling them what they're going to do. That's Dr. Bawumia. You have to admire him. He's not a perfect man. No man is perfect. Only God is. But you got to admire Dr. Bawumia. So for some of these things, you can't go wrong with that. What's this? Keep off. Proposed hospital site. Order by Kwabre East. But why are they showing me this? Why are they showing me this photograph? Okay, maybe they'll explain. Okay, so I understand the photograph now. Dr. Bawumia went to inspect the site of the hospital. I'm sure it's one of the Agenda 111 hospital. Because I can see Dr. Nsian Sari prominently in there. And, but the guy who has been ironing Dr. Bawumia's shirt, I need him more. See how he has ironed the shirt. Viewers, look at my shirt. I'm sorry, look at my shirt. Is it properly ironed? Please, the ironing. Dr. Bawumia's ironing man, I need him. Charlie, the guy can iron, man. See the way he's ironed the thing nicely like that. Okay, somebody is saying in the studio that why am I assuming that Dr. Bawumia didn't iron it himself? Yes, I'm assuming that. I'm sorry. I don't know who ironed it. But if it's Dr. Bawumia who ironed it himself, I can't ask him to come and iron my shirt. You understand? I should be ironing his shirts. But if it's one of the guys in the house who ironed it, please, the people in Dr. Bawumia's house, who is the ironer? The guy is too good, man. I need him to teach me how to do these things. You know? So that's the hospital one. The hospital project is still going on. He's inspecting these projects as he goes along. You see the workers working, putting the Agenda 111 hospitals together. You have to admire Akufo-Addo's administration. They say they want to do something. They may not be able to achieve it, but the tenacity with which they hold on to the promise, you have to give that to Akufo-Addo. And every other president who comes after him, we want to see that. When Akufo-Addo says, I'll do something, maybe he's not able to achieve it, but the tenacity with which he holds it. He said, I'll deliver free SHS. He started saying it from 2008. Look at how he's held on to it. Double track came. He said, I'll cross the hurdle. It doesn't matter. One day he was there. Minister says, Mr. President, we can't continue free SHS. 100,000 say, no, let's find a solution. Let's move on. One district, one factory. Yes, NDC will say he hasn't done 200 factories. He has done 100 factories. But if every president was doing 100 factories since 1961, how many factories will there be in Ghana? And look at Agenda 111. It sounded like it's impossible. But look at the ferocity with which they are delivering it. In difficult economic circumstances, in difficult circumstances of the local currency. Today, we are hearing some good news that the economy has appreciated. 4.7 growth in the first quarter of 2024. Fantastic. I heard that on radio today. I was listening to Joy Business in the evening. It was quoted on City FM as well. 4.7 economic growth. And then food inflation is coming down. And industrialization has taken over services. All of that from the statistical services reported. Kudos to the government. It is a very difficult situation. But if you look at the statistics, that will eventually bear fruit. Of course, they say that is not, we don't feel it in our pocket. That's true. I don't feel it in my pocket yet. But when you see the statistics and the numbers changing, it means that it is soon to reflect in your pocket. Look at more of the photographs of Dr. Bawumia. Oh, this is great. I hope this guy is a security man, because if he's not a security man, then Dr. Bawumia should be worried. Because the way the guy is serious, I hope he's a security man. But look at all of them. Look at the love that he's getting from the people. Look at it. Oh, here he went to a room. I think there's Stephen and Tim in there. He went to a room to address a few. Okay, I'm being signaled that we have to get to the courts very soon. So, viewers, let's have a look at Dr. Bawumia's montage. It's 3 minutes long.
Tell you what they happen. Sansemai, Moya Crado, Mr. Moya Crado, Sanyanko Ponepe, Yenimse, Inshallah, the next president of the Republic of Ghana. The next president of the Republic of Ghana. Ghana da chinti. Mebno da chinti. Inshallah, 7 December, Mubatua Bawumia, Aya one-touch victory. Moya Prado, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Bawumia.
To take you on a journey of possibility. I want you to know that it is possible. In the world of ideas, there are two types of people. There is one group that has new ideas, and there is another set of people who only criticize new ideas. I want you to be the group with new ideas. More voting money. Now, the new ideas ever in the digital economy. Agriculture, you remember. I'm sorry, your future is at stake. We want transformational ideas. Transformational ideas.
That was sound and size from Dr. Bawumia's campaign. So, NDC National Propaganda Secretary Samuel Denfi, get your staff to send us some of the videos when John Mahama is on the campaign, if you want us to have a look at it. We are open to do it, no problem. President Mahama is our friend, isn't he? Yes, so send us, and then it's campaign season. We always do that. We did it in 2020. I'm sure we did in 2016 as well. And we'll do it again. So it's up to you. Send it to us. We are waiting for it. Okay, this is a campaign song that has been put together by some friends of Dr. Bawumia. It's how long? I think it's 1 minute 40 seconds. Have a look.
It is possible.
Welcome. Time to get to court. Good evening. Once again, His Lordship Justice Kulendi, Lieutenant Jakpa, and the Learned Attorney General. So, the things that happened in court today, some of it was terrible. I already talked about how the lawyers may be uncomfortable. But we're going to stay with two issues. The big two takeaways from the court. So, here they are. Our big takeaway from the court where we were this afternoon is as follows. One, Mr. Jakpa says he was victimized in the army, and that is why he failed his promotional exams several times. And that is why the army said he had bad conduct. Number two says he claims Kulendi went all the way to AG's office during the court's proceedings to ask the AG to help Jakpa to go home due to complications in the verification of the documents. And the third one we add is a text messaging. The story about the text messaging, which I've already said. So 3 stories. Let's begin with the first one. Francis Jakpa says he was victimized. He said that in cross-examination today, being cross-examined by the Director for Public Prosecutions, representing the prosecution in the matter of the ambulance trial with Kesela Tufos and the minority leader as the first accused person. Second accused person has been discharged by the court upon the discretion of the Attorney General as a result of ill health, proven ill health. And the third accused person is Mr. Francis Jakpa, who was an agent for a company called Big C, which was contracted by the government of Ghana, blah, blah, blah. The subject matter of the contract is before Her Lordship Justice Efia Sewa. Now, though, let's get to the details. Here, Jakpa says, according to records, he didn't pass his promotional exams from 2000 to 2007. He answered that he was being victimized. What is the story behind the victimization? Mr. Jakpa says that his father had something to do with the defense of the revolution. In particular, his father had something to do with the release of Flight Lieutenant Rawlins. I believe he may be referring to the interregnum between May 15th and June 4th. The June 4th coup that was occasioned by Boachijan Mensah Poku and others to release Flight Lieutenant Rawlins. And then Flight Lieutenant Rawlins was due to go back to court, the court-martial of the Ghana Armed Forces at Burma Hall on 4th June, Monday, 4th June 1979. The court's trial had begun already. It was led, the tribunal was chaired by Colonel Emisa. In those days, I believe the name is Emisa, yes. Colonel Emisa, who was the director of the directorate at the legal directorate of the Ghana Armed Forces. The director at the legal directorate of the Ghana Armed Forces, Colonel Emisa, I believe it is. Oh, no, sorry. The name is Enimfo. Colonel Enimfo. He was the director, legal director of Ghana Armed Forces in 1979. He was a lawyer. They call him a judge advocate, something like that. So he was chairing, and then the matter had been adjourned. Lawyers for Flight Lieutenant Rawlins included the famous William Abuduma, Bosman, Chachu Chikata, and others. We have that in some of our documentaries. The June 4th documentary is really there. You can Google it and look at it. So JJ was due in court, back in court on Monday, June 4th. And then at the dawn of Monday, June 4th, soldiers led by Captain Boachijan hit the BNI headquarters and released JJ Rawlins. Mr. Jakpa is telling us a story that suggests that his father may have been instrumental in that operation. He says, as a result of that, he was victimized in the Ghana Armed Forces. And he said that having joined the Ghana Armed Forces in 1998, I believe, he had 2 years of his second lieutenant to lieutenant without any exam, which is what it is. And then from lieutenant to captain, you have to write an exam. It takes 4 years to be lieutenant to captain. If you pass your exam in 4 years' time, you'll be captain. It turns out that he had difficulties in passing the exam. The matter was confronted to him in court today because I think the prosecution is trying to unravel the character of the witness, the character of the accused person. I guess that's what the prosecution is trying to draw at. So they will draw at anything that has to do with your history, your career, your background, something like that. So the prosecution found this one quite useful, and rightly so. So they asked him questions about it. Then he says, oh, my father was JJ's man, so they were victimizing me. In fact, when I was graduating, I was a top marksman. And I was a top marksman and I was sent to the Recce Regiment. Recce Regiment at the time that he graduated had 2 bases, one in Sunyani alongside the 3rd Battalion of Infantry and one in Accra alongside the 5th Battalion of Infantry. I think Recce has one more right now. But for the longest time, those of us who grew up in Burma camp, Recce was in Sunyani and in Accra. So Mr. Jakpa was sent to Sunyani. And he said that as a result of his record in military academy as a great marksman, Flight Lieutenant Rawlins invited the Ghana Armed Forces to send him to Accra to be at Gonda Barracks, which is the base of the Recce Regiment in Accra. And today, Recce Regiment shares also with the 64 Infantry Battalion. So in that part of Burma camp, at the end of Burma camp, at the Arakan Mess, beyond those of you go and do sports, beyond the sports center, there are 3 important units of the Ghana Armed Forces: the Recce Regiment, the 64 Infantry Battalion, and the headquarters of the 5th Battalion of Infantry. They are all up there. Now, Mr. Jakpa is saying that JJ brought him over to Accra Perhaps so that he'll be nearer JJ. I don't know. I'm not sure why they didn't put him in the 64 Infantry Battalion. But this is the catch. The guy's difficulties in the promotional exam included when JJ was president. Here, JJ, his man, was president in the year 2000. Then came John Kufuor. He told the court and mentioned the name of Kwame Adokufor, the defense minister, mentioned the name of General J.B. Dankwa, the chief of defense staff at the time, in connection to his difficulties. And he says that because he's a Rawlings man, when the Kufuor people came, they didn't want him promoted. But his first examination difficulty was in 2000 when JJ was president. So I'm not so sure. I don't know. I don't know how the court will look at it, what the value they will do. But I'm just raising these questions that sort of pop out when you look at the material. These things pop out. Guy says, I'm JJ's man. My father was JJ's man. I'm JJ's man as well. JJ actually said they should bring me to Accra. During the period of JJ, you take a promotional exam from lieutenant to captain and the people say you have failed. JJ was president. Why did you fail your exam? Oh, Kufuor and his people didn't like me. They didn't like me because I'm JJ's man. Because I'm JJ's man, when Adokufor became defense minister, he didn't want to see my face at all. He and JB Dankwa, they didn't want to see me. And so they victimized me. Okay, fair enough. That's a story. But the guy didn't pass in JJ's 2000. Ajekun Kufuor was sworn in on 7 January 2001. By the time John Ajekun Kufuor was sworn in, the guy had already failed 1 exam. And he continued to fail the other 6. But the first one was under JJ. So, does it not sound incongruous? Anyway, that's it for now. Let's get to the second level of the argument. In the second level of the argument, no, let's go back to the base before we come to this. The questions, the 2 takeaways. Let's get there first. So it's fundamental and you can move on. Yes, thank you. Now, in the second level, we'll have a third level on the text message, but the second level of the argument, it says, Jakpa claims that Justice Kulendi went all the way to the Attorney General's office during court proceedings to ask the Attorney General to help Jakpa go home due to complications in the verification of documents used by Jakpa to secure bail. Now, this is the story, viewers. This is because the matter is in court. The only word I can use to qualify it is interesting. He says, Justice Kulendi, thank you very much for this. Justice Kulendi sitting as a Supreme Court judge on a panel of 5. He's not sitting as a sole judge. And he's not sitting as an additional court of appeal judge. He's sitting as a Supreme Court judge. Panel of 5. He's not the only one on the panel. 5 of them. Jakpa told the High Court today that while Justice Kulendi was sitting there, he phoned Justice Kulendi and said that whereas he has satisfied bail conditions, it was still being difficult for the people to grant him the bail for him to go home. And he told the court, this also, viewers, please pay attention if you can. He told the court that Justice Kulendi, upon receiving his call, his Jakpa's call, departed from the bench. He told the court that Justice Kulendi was still robed in the legal way. Look at where the Supreme Court, those of you who don't live in Accra, the distance between the Supreme Court and the Attorney General's office on a weekday by driving is easily 25 minutes. That's the minimum. It could be 45. It could even be an hour, but it's easily 25 minutes. Jakpa told the court that the sitting Supreme Court judge, whilst sitting on the case, got a phone call from him, Jakpa, relating to the difficulties of his bail conditions. And the Supreme Court judge left the courts, drove to the Attorney General's office. Here we depict Justice Kulendi and the Attorney General. My graphics guy, cartoon guy, is beautiful, man. That guy does a good job. You call him at 3 o'clock and say, Charlie, can you put the cartoon together? You don't have to say much. Papa, he'll do it. This is what he gave us. Beautiful, fantastic. So Justice Kulendi comes to the Attorney General's office, sits down in this chair. This is the Attorney General with his legs crossed in a blue suit. And then, please, you have to put a tie on Godfrey Dami. He's always wearing the tie. He doesn't do the things that we are doing here. So next time, graphics, put tie on Godfrey Dami, red tie or some black and white Adisco tie. Kulendi tells Dami that, arrange bail for my cousin Jakpa. He's still in his Supreme Court robe. He climbs up to the 3rd floor of the Attorney General's office, the old office, because of course there's a new office called the Law House. He climbed up to the 3rd floor in his robe. This is what Jakpa told the courts. I mean, if you are Jakpa's lawyer, my goodness, what will be going through your head? That the Supreme Court judge stopped the sitting and left the 4, ran to the artist's car, went to the Attorney General's office and told him, grants my cousin Jakpa bail. What do you make of this story, viewers? I don't know. The matter is still in court and is before. Next photograph. The matter is still in court and is before the judge. So this is Jakpa in there. This is Jakpa in there. And he's looking for bail. And he says that Kulendi, he makes a phone call to Justice Kulendi, and Justice Kulendi stops his work. I mean, this is what he said. Justice Kulendi stops the work that he's doing, hearing a matter before the Supreme Court. He is still in his red and black robe, goes to Attorney General's office. This is what Jakpa told the court today. We have nothing to say about it, just to say that it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Anyway, now the last part of Jakpa's testimony, which is the most bizarre, is what I told you about. Text messages are 68. 68 text messages that he sent to the Attorney General, and the record shows the Attorney General replied 2 of the 68. He sent 68 messages, Attorney General replied 2. He was asking court that, can you confirm that many of the text messages you sent to the Attorney General, he didn't reply, he replied only 2 of them, which had to do with a schedule for you guys to meet. Then he says, he didn't reply because the text message I sent is motivational message. You are an accused person. Every morning you are sending Attorney General motivational message. Is he your friend? Is he your church member? Why are you sending him motivational message? Do you go to the same church? Are you in the same fellowship? Accused person, third accused. You claim that Attorney General helped you secure bail. Every morning you are sending him text motivational. I want to see some of those messages. Does it say that give up not, don't despair, move on to the next level. If you fail, you rise again. Good morning, Attorney General. Is that the thing he was doing? Is that guy a member of your church? Mr. Jakpa, this is what he told the court. This is what he told the court today. This is the kind of witness we are dealing with. The guy who can have a 26-minute phone call and produce only 14 minutes. He has 68 messages. He produces 25. Why do you produce 25? That is my case. This is my case. I have to produce my own. This is my case. So the other one is his case. So it's up to him. Me, I'm doing my case. I'm not doing his case for him. So the text messages that will exonerate him, I won't give it to the court. I will keep it to myself. The one that I think that the court will look at it and agree with me, I will give it to the court. So court, I have looked at all the 68. It's about 25 that are in my favor. So court, here, 25 gets. That's Jakpa. The same text messages is handed over to the NDC. So you see, I've been telling you that there are some good people in the NDC. When the NDC did the press conference, they were unaware that Jakpa didn't give them all until we came to show it here. So some of them were calling me and saying, why they asked about it in the Jakpa thing? When Johnson Asiedu looked at it, so Jakpa, he deceived the NDC chairman and Samuel Jemfi because he didn't give them all the text messages. They thought he had given them all. So the ones that we got, they didn't have. And that's what Jakpa confirmed to the court today. That he gave only 25 text messages out. The audio recording, he put out only 14 of 26 minutes. That's what he did. He picks and chooses. He's not interested in telling the court the whole truth. He's not interested. He's not interested in telling the court the whole truth. It would appear so. I hope he's interested. But it would appear that he's not interested in telling the court the whole truth. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. But the way it looks, you have to decide, viewers. And I'm sure that his lordship will decide so that we all know. But the way he does it, well, what can you say? I don't know. I really don't know. You don't know whether you should believe him. You don't know whether you shouldn't believe him. But he says, court, take 25. That's fine. That's okay. Take the 25. Take it. It's fine. Then the Attorney General now says, you are giving the court 25. My lords, I want to bring all 68 so that the court can take the value of it. 68 is the whole truth. It's nothing but the truth. 68, the whole truth. Nothing but the truth. Then lawyers for Jakpa, we can't tell whether it's on the instruction of Jakpa or it's on their own instincts. We really can't tell because lawyers are usually working on the instructions of clients, but we don't know this one. What happened though is that lawyers for Jakpa come out and say, Judge, we will object to your taking the text message from the Attorney General. We will object. That's what the lawyer said. We will object. Now, what is the basis of the objection? Of the objection? Then one of the lawyers says that the text message, the typed document that Attorney General is submitting is black and white. In text, some is green and some is white. Why is his own black and white? Viewers, you know the answer to the question that the judge gave? The judge said, but you two, the text message you brought, it was in black and white. So if yours was in black and white, why are you objecting to theirs in black and white? Then the guy says, well, the fact that ours is black and white was accepted doesn't mean that his own should also be accepted. Another lawyer said that, okay, let me study it first. So the court held the matter down and said, okay, let them study it on Thursday. Let's come and hear the objection. If there's no objection, we'll accept it. If there's an objection, we'll hear it and we'll rule upon it. This is what happened in court today. There will be more on Thursday. But you have to remember that Mr. Japa says out of 68, he gives 25. He doesn't want to give the rest because to go against his case. Out of the audio recording, he gave 14. So he gave text messages to the NDC. NDC were not aware that it's not the whole thing. And then based upon that, they held a press conference. Okay, story has ended now, hasn't it? Yes. Let's take text messages as I'm being beckoned to do so. When we come back, Samuel Okudjeto Ablakwa led a demonstration to leave our hotels alone. We have documents from Senate. And then we have Adenta Kumi in the studio who has brought an action at Shraj against Okudjeto Ablakwa for conflict of interest. We'll be talking about that. Should I start from Angelo this time? Angelo, what are people saying?
Okay, so Amicus Conscientia says, did Jakpa really object to his own WhatsApp message being used as evidence against him? By the way, I'm still searching for Sami Jamfi's update on today's court proceedings. Mohammed Nuruddin and Jesus Badalona want you, Paul, to invite Kweku Bako. They say they've really missed him. Okay, so moving on, we've got, right. Kofi Sakrista says, Apostle Paul, you're also a mathematician. And Joseph says, he said he objects on the basis that the printout of the chat is not in colored form. This came as a bewildering surprise to her ladyship as the WhatsApp printout offered by Mr. Jakpa himself was not colored. Papavi says, Paul, he detailed it, so he copied them from ChatGPT and posted them in their WhatsApp groups. Okay, Shaggy says, Paul, I'm watching you live from Milwaukee in Wisconsin. Keep on exposing their propaganda because they've got nothing else to offer. Moving on, we have Jesus Christ, so I can't pronounce his name properly. Amponsa. He says, I have not understood why my good friend John Seto Dumelo attributed the bottom-up approach to the NDC supporters. I have some guys in my constituency who are NDC, and the attitude is not. I still stand by my words that court deals with evidence, facts, and laws, and not emotions. I'm sorry Honorable Atu Forson has caused financial loss to the state, and he can't escape jail. My regards to Honorable Lawyer Patrick Yabuama, MP for Kaikwe Central Constituency. Nana Krama Button says, they say when a frog dies, they can see the full length of it. The way the NDC is hanging on the supposed leaked tape involving the AG and Richard Jakpa trying to implicate the AG will not stand. The truth will prevail, and there's no way darkness can cover it. Rushing through these briefly also. Nazi Jokshan says, we are NAWA, the National Association for Lions and Wild Animal Rearers. Please request Paul to cease laughing at us. We need more dollars. Okay, and SK Boachi asks, Paul, do you purchase your suits from the same person Nana Kwame Bediako purchases his own? Maybe he suggests you're looking a bit ostentatious tonight. Lastly, Master Planner Jr. says, in fact, Samira Bawumia is a woman every man should look out for, especially those who are not married. Interesting. He says, do your checks well if you want to succeed in life. Sarah, what do you have for us?
Okay, so Inshiraba says, I said from the beginning that this man, Japa, is not credible and incompetent as well. How can someone make a verbal request to you and you respond with 68 WhatsApp messages? Interesting times ahead. And also coming from Nana Anani, he says, Justice Kulendi has soiled his reputation. He should step down from the bench. Also coming from Yapapevi, she says, Paul, will Justice Kulendi take a stand to defend himself from what his cousin said? Also coming from Elder Kutin, he says, dope campaign song. Also coming from Julius Amwako, he says Dr. Bawumia all the way. And Mercy Adair says the 24-hour economy policy was just a slip of tongue, but Ghanaians have become very vigilant to the point where no one can just say anything and go free. That's the confusion to explain. And then also from Solomon, he says going to court in the evening is a clear definition of 24-hour economy. Back to you, Paul.
Okay. This is where we are. All right. Now, this morning, there was a demonstration. What's the time now? We come to the demonstration story. Okay. It's 8 minutes to the top of that, 11 o'clock. This morning, there was a demonstration, wasn't there? There was a demonstration by Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa and others. Their concern is that the Social Security and National Insurance Trust is taking a position to revamp and revive all their hotels around the country. As a result of that, they have selected a vendor or a company to win the bid to take over 60% of all of these companies put together so that they will be able to revive it. The company has significant shareholding by Minister for Agriculture, Brian Achampong. I believe that in the processes, Senate were aware that Brian Achampong was a significant shareholder of the company that was bidding for this one. Brian Achampong is a hotelier and he's been in the business before he entered politics in 2016 as Member of Parliament for his people in Praiso area. This is the subject of the demonstration. I like to say something for the demonstrators. And whilst I say that, can you please show the video of the demonstration, the silent one? This morning, when they advertised for the demonstration to start at 8, many people were avoiding the route and all of that. Yeah, this is the demonstrators. And then at 10 o'clock, text messages started going around that, oh, the people are not many. The people are not many at all. The demonstration has failed. I want viewers to get something important, viewers, if you can pay attention. Demonstration is not about the number of people. It may be true that today's demonstration had few people. Yes, you can call it few people. You know, you can call it few people. Yes, thank you. You can call the demonstration few people. Yes, it was few people. But that's not the point. They are making a point. It's about democracy. It's about freedom of association. It's about ability to put your document to the Jubilee House and the Chief of Staff received it and promised them that to go to the president. That is the working of Ghana's democracy. That they were 300 and 400, I'm not sure it's important. Yes, everybody wants the demonstration to be big, but the fact that today's demonstration was just a few people, it doesn't take anything away from the fact that in Ghana you can demonstrate and go to the government and send your petition to the government. That's very important. I don't like it when people were teasing them on social media that, oh, you people are only 300, you people are 200, you people, they count 150. Some people were saying that, oh, it's not 150, it's about 410. Some said, oh, they started as 100, but by the time it was 12 o'clock, they were about 500, and they were laughing at them. I don't think that is correct. I don't think that is fair. Demonstration is not about numbers. Yes, Kumi Preko demonstration was large. It is huge. 100,000 people. Yeah, it's true. It's good. But if a demonstration is even 2 people, it is still a demonstration. The fact that it was a black one and a few others, it doesn't mean it's not a demonstration. It is. But let's get around and understand something. They are complaining about something about the hotels, about profits, margins, and all that. We'll get into that in detail on Thursday. But what we know now is that at the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa had filed this petition to the Shraj as a member of parliament, responsible Ghanaian. He's filed this petition to the Shraj and told the Shraj that what SNIT has done with Mr. Brian Achampong's company is illegal, is irregular, or is an administrative calamity, if you like. So Shraj would have to be given the opportunity to rule upon that. Before Shraj rules upon that, he is leading a demonstration to suggest that somebody is stealing somebody's lands. That's politics then. That's no longer trying to save the Ghanaian people, but it's politics. It's the same Ablakwa who went to length to challenge the late Jacob Belamte about the acquisition of a house, and the Supreme Court disagreed with him. The Supreme Court told him that he was wrong, and they had to use administrative fiat because Professor Mills was president to reverse the sale by presidential power, even though the Supreme Court has said that Obeche Belamte was right. This is what the NDC did, bastardizing the court, a complete violation of the rule of law. The thing Akufo-Addo likes, the rule of law, a complete violation of it, because Obeche Belamte was right, and it was Ablakwa, and Omane Boama, who championed this, made everybody hate Obeche Belamte, made every Ghana person hate Obeche Belamte. That's what they do. And that's the evil of politics. Using an opportunity to create hatred for another person in your favor. That's the evil of politics. Everything has an evil. There's evil in law, evil in medicine. There's even evil in football. That's why there's a red card. But the evil of politics is when there's a matter. It may be a genuine matter that needs ventilation, that Ghanaians have to decide on what the template is going forward. It may be that. But once you begin to use that to generate hatred, palpable hatred for a colleague in the opposition side, that's the evil of politics. Especially when the Bible says, take out the lock in your eyes before you do something. At the Shraj right now, a petition has been filed that Okujeto Ablakwa has created a business without going through the processes where, as a member of parliament, he needed to disclose to the speaker, etc., etc. The Commission for Human Rights is prepared to hear that. Should people begin to demonstrate, or should a politician go and incite people to demonstrate, hey, Ablakwa has set up companies, is making profit, is making money from this and that and that. He has not disclosed to parliament. He has violated the constitution. Should people begin to do that, they have to wait and let Shraj give a ruling. Shraj may give a ruling and say, Ablakwa has done nothing wrong. Shraj may give a ruling and say, Ablakwa has done something wrong. It is only then that you can go publicly and express, if you do not have evil in your hearts for political purposes. It's 3 minutes top of there. Let me welcome you, Adenta Kumi, to the studio. And what do you think about today's demonstration anyway?
Senior, I'll be very honest and say that this is the most deceptive demonstration that I've seen in this country. Very deceptive.
What does that mean?
Because the issues that the Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa is talking about, he does not have evidence. I have a friend called Kofi Dinkra. He says that he who seeks equity must come with clean hands.
No, that's a maxim. That's a legal maxim. It's not Kofi Dinkra who said it.
He likes saying.
He likes using it. Okay.
Yes. But Senior, you've taken the Honorable Brian Champong to Shraj, saying that he's committed some misconducts as a public person, but you've not been able to put just even one evidence down.
No, he's using the rhetoric. It's our land, it's our hotel, it's our that. They shouldn't cheat Ghana people, etc., etc., tribalizing it a little bit. That's what he said.
This was the same thing that was done in the case of Jacob Chebilamte. And what did the court say?
Tell me.
I asked myself, why is he not in court, but rather Shraj? If you are really saying this is a serious issue, you should have gone to the court straight away. Not saying that Shraj is not a serious place, but it's because of something called conjecture. The court does not deal with conjecture. And he knows that when he goes to court, he'll be beaten. It's the reason why he's not able to take any issue to court, because there's too much conjecture in all his issues. So now let me even narrate it from. Recently, we saw that he's added the former chairman of the MPP.
Who? Blay, yes.
Chairman Blay, to it. Then you ask yourself, what is Chairman Blay doing there?
He says the Blay brothers have taken some beach.
Blay sons.
Yeah.
But what does it have to do with Blay? If Blay's son happens to go and commit murder today, do you go and arrest Blay?
No, Hunter Biden is being charged, but not his father.
Not his father. So let me give you something. If we are going by the books of Okujeto Ablakwa, let me give you something. When he became minister in 2010, in 2011, 2009,
deputy minister.
When he became deputy minister of information, 2011, something happened. A scholarship was granted by him to her sister called Ropel. Her surname is now Ropel. Mercy Ropel. She used to use the name Ablakwa Ropel. Mercy Ablakwa. Then when she got there, she got married. She has caused financial loss to the state. Why am I saying so? $33,000 US dollars was given to her as scholarship money.
But is it Ablakwa who does the scholarships? He was information minister.
I mean, the articles are all here to show.
No, but the scholarship is by scholarship secretariat.
There were, you know, what? Yes, it was by scholarship secretariat. But the question is, who pushed it for her?
We don't know. That's conjecture.
Well, we can say that's conjecture.
Yes.
But, well, I have my sources, and I know where my sources are coming from.
Okay.
And if we are moving from there, you understand that an issue happened in the States. This lady was asked to go and study nursing. For how many years? Over 10 years now, no certificate. Then I have evidence here what the lady went to do in the US. Just 2 years or 3 years ago, this lady, it pops out that she has records. I have someone who, this is some background.
What is in it?
Yes.
What is in it?
In it, she lives in the state of Wisconsin. She's lived in about 8 different places in Wisconsin. The money that the government of Ghana gave her to go and study, that very money, we've not seen the certificate. There's no record of her studying nursing in the US because from the records, she came out right after a year. So if Okudzeto Ablakwa has anybody to go after, he must go after his sister first and bring government of Ghana.
Maybe this does not come to his attention.
It's because he stands.
I can imagine Ablakwa said the conscious government of Ghana gave him money to go and study this.
This is an official background check. I'm
okay, I'll take it.
Official background check.
Can I send it to Ablakwa? I'll take the picture.
Yes, you can send it to him. Okay. He knows it. And I have evidence where she lives. Everything is with me. I mean, I didn't come to.
But how do you know? Where is the evidence that they're actually related?
So, Okudzeto Ablakwa's real name is Samuel Okudzeto. His stepdad, I have his stepdad who denied him. This evidence.
Oh, that part I'm not comfortable. No. Stepdad Samuel Okudzeto.
Yes, his real name is Samuel Okudzeto.
Yeah, which is his name?
When he was adopted at the age of 3.
Yeah, so since we have known him, is Okudzeto Ablakwa.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this very man's daughter, who is also his sister that he grew up with. I think he has about 3 sisters.
This is in the Dansuman area?
Yes.
Okay.
About 3 sisters. The Mercy was given a scholarship to go to the US. She's the one
they're older than Sami?
No, she's younger than Sami.
Oh, I see. Okay.
She was the one that was arrested in the US for forgery. I mean, the news is all over. It's
the same Mercy.
The same Mercy.
Oh, I see.
And you know, there's a school of thought that was the reason why Okudzeto decided not to be like close to her again, and that's what brought a certain family feud, or let me say family issue.
Okay, I think that's fine. Let's get to the Shraj issue.
Yes.
The petition before Shraj. What is it about?
So the petition before Shraj is just simply 2 things. First of all, deceit. In 2023, the Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa denied having a company. And also some allegations that some people, Something for Justice made, denied the company outrightly, that he didn't have anything to do with any business or wasn't doing any business like that. But what he didn't tell us, and now he's telling us in his Twitter page, on his Twitter page, on the 12th, just on the 12th of June, is that he set up a constituency project with a company called Volta Clenham, which has a shares of 500,000. This is the evidence, yes, which has shares of 500,000. But we are asking this simple question. If you are saying it's a constituency project, which was registered in 2021, why is it not functioning? That's 1. 2, if it's a constituency project, do the constituency know about this project? Yep.
We are back, bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front 2, with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the partial daily jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more. In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
Herbal Hospital. Specialists in every kind of bone disease.
Herbal Hospital. Baby, a sanya webia. Nanso, yare timi sapa dom yare.
Spinal cord, swelling of the arms, arthritis, bone injury, swelling of the leg with reddish color around it, and so on. See, Herbal Hospital has special ultra-modern machine for checking up the body. I have tried them and I got good results. Try Herbal Hospital.
So what about what your papa
Yeah, this is my secret. Give us P capsules. Emma, I want to go from now on to me to my ding one pen. Give us P capsules. Over do us, Mama. Oh no, enemy lawyer.
And to lawyer no na show bottom. Are you bro? Then I found upon a machine about Siamoa as a new year.
What's on it?
No. Need a nephew, I can't wait. The friend give us cold capsules. Say yes, is Yara and the wall swore. Cold could you do nipper them when in our posa a mamma and Tima Wunja would name wouldn't give us cold capsules. Obey your free
lawyer.
Give us cold capsules.
And I give us P capsules.
Hey, and they give us free.
And men what if you do what you do kwan efa. Give us cold capsules. A pain for a batter one more menu for one and kwada if you do me nunca.
We are back, bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two, with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot. You always get way more with Betway.
These offers have been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Has Christianity always been one of the religions in the world to you?
Oh, hallelujah. Christianity is not a religion, neither is it a joining of a church and doing the Christian things like praying and giving and so on. Hallelujah. Christianity is the outworking of God's own kind of life received into the spirit of a man. Whoa! This divine life in the heart of a man makes him righteous, keeps him healthy.